I'm Anup Kurup. I've been using LinkedIn for my business for over 5 years now. Over the last 3 years, in fact, I have been using LinkedIn exclusively to generate leads for my own business. I run a marketing consulting agency, and as you know, it can be very vague to promote a marketing agency. But we have been very successful in generating leads for ourselves as well as for our clients. Generating leads on LinkedIn usually is thought of as a very expensive proposition because the ad costs are almost 10 times that of Google or Facebook. But you can generate a lot of leads on LinkedIn without even using ads. How do we use LinkedIn for business? Of course, it's a business networking platform. It was meant to be that, and you get connected to people you don't know, people from your sphere of influence, people who you have connected in the past in a networking meeting, or even your clients, right? But how do you use LinkedIn for actually generating leads and sales? That is what we are going to look at next. So there are quite a few things you can do in LinkedIn, but let's talk about building your network, right? There are three things you can do, and I'm going to focus on business lead generation or sales. There are a lot of things you can do in LinkedIn. I'm going to skip over some of the obvious ones because they may not be very, very pertinent to generating business for you. Let's see the three things you can do. Of course, authority building or personal brand building, community building, and you can do direct networking. Now, when it comes to authority building, it's all about posting, article writing, content writing, etc., that people keep doing. But how do you do this more effectively? It's a very simple thing. When you're trying to build authority using LinkedIn, focus on one area. And when I say focus on one area, what I mean is focus on your topic, whatever topic that you are at. Let's say I'm into marketing, so I'll mostly post about marketing. When we talk about community building, it's all about LinkedIn groups, and the LinkedIn has a fantastic tool called groups. There's something else that LinkedIn has introduced. It's called a newsletter. Of course, you can always do direct networking. That is, you can connect with somebody, chat with somebody, send them direct messages, send them email, etc. We'll look at all this in the upcoming slides. So the most important thing about LinkedIn is you, of course, right? You are the most important person for you on LinkedIn. And if you're the most important person, then how do you ensure that you are actually being seen by others, other people who you want to do business with or network with? Let's have a quick look at that. So this is how most of your LinkedIn account should look like. I hope everybody has a similar, view on LinkedIn. If not, ping in the message box and let us all see what's different about you, right? This is how it looks like. You will have, this is the main feed where you have messages from, people and people you interact with or you follow, etc. You will have your profile, something, some updates, some account updates, etc., hashtags, messages, notifications, etc. And your profile is here. I'm going to go into my profile. Right. So there are a lot of mistakes in my profile, and you can point it out. Please feel free to. Right. This is not the most ideal profile. I need to tell you that too, because I keep experimenting with my profile a lot. You are seeing it in the middle of one experiment actually right now. So what is the most important thing in your profile? Very simply, this part, the photo. It's not, people say wear a suit and a tie and take a photo, but I don't think so. We are in India, not many people do wear suit and tie. So as long as it's a professional looking photo, it is fine. Hopefully it is not something where you're doing this or you're doing this. So I have seen so many photos on LinkedIn where people are directly taking it from something like Instagram, or directly picking it up from maybe one of their casual networks, whichever network that might be. That is not the photo you want to post here. You don't want to post your holiday pictures or your pictures after you have had a party. A sober looking picture is fine, as long as possible. Don't try to make it too flashy, too gaudy. Yes, it attracts the attention, but might be for the wrong reasons. The second thing is, of course, something called as the headline. And look at my headline. It doesn't say CEO of this or founder of that or marketer or something like that. No. Remember, your LinkedIn profile is the most important thing for you, but for somebody who looks at it, it is not. Right? They are looking at multiple profiles in a given day. So to make your profile the most important one for them, you have to make it relevant for the audience or the customer who is looking at your LinkedIn profile. Therefore, whatever you write in the headline here matters a lot. How do you edit it? Just click on this button, the pencil icon, I'm sorry, and you will have your name and your headline. And headline has a character limit actually. You can, I think I'm at the character limit. No, 19 more characters to go. Okay, fine. So you can see how many characters are left here, right? So what I've written is creating client engine for B2B services and SaaS businesses, proven system to get clients on demand. Instead of saying what my role or what my position is or my company or my title, what I'm saying is what can I do for you? Whom do I work with? Make it very, very relevant. What I'm saying is I'm creating client engine that generates a little bit of curiosity. What the hell is a client engine? And then I'm saying it's for B2B services and SaaS businesses, right? And finally ending it with the promise that it's a proven system to get clients on demand. Now, here is the thing, right? Go to your LinkedIn account and see what does the headline say. Why does this matter? I will tell you in a bit. Okay. And then about the summary, most people don't reach here. In fact, if you notice your own behavior, what happens is when you're going to somebody's LinkedIn profile, you're probably looking at it at the top. If it says CEO something, then you're scrolling here, you're scrolling down and trying to figure out what is this about, right? What company are you talking about and what does this company do? So people scroll down when they don't get enough information here. What you want to do is let the person come in, have a professional looking photo, have your name, have the statement which tells the visitor what exactly you do and whom you do it for. And that's it. That's as simple a method or a technique to get attention on LinkedIn. And let me show you something else. When you're messaging people, right, and there will be a lot of messages here which I have not answered for obvious reasons. Let's see who's on the chat who I know, and maybe I can just ping them. Let's see. Srividya is here. Srijit is here, I know. Okay. Srijit, can I, without your permission, I'm doing this. Hopefully that is fine. Let us see. Yeah, Srijit. Okay. So I have Srijit's message box here. It says founder and director Self Roadies Travel Solutions Private Limited, right? Doesn't tell me much, but I'm just going to ping him. Hi. You saw what happened here? No, probably not. See, even in the chat box, this thing that is coming up is actually the title. The headline, sorry, not the title. So I'm going to Srijit's account. Sridhar, I'm so sorry to do this to you in public, but spare me, right? So here is Srijit's account, and this is the headline, right? This is the headline. Now, when you see the headline, this is what it shows up, and the same thing shows up here. Right? So if your headline is something which is very relevant, if you make it like, and I know Srijit comes from the travel industry, so if Srijit writes, instead of saying this founder and director, instead of saying that, for example, Srijit writes, I create customized travel packages to unknown places for you and your family, for example, right? It's very clear what he does. So people who want to interact with Srijit, once they go to his profile, they say, okay, I understand what he does. This is very relevant for me. Let me have a chat with Srijit about this. So the top part of your account is the thing, and now I will tell you the mistakes in my account so you can do better. One is this, this dark looking image. I found it really cool, but I'm sure most people don't understand what this image is about. So don't worry. That is the issue, right? I should put the image, the poster or the banner here and make it something relevant. Make it something very relevant for the customer. Again, your profile is the most important thing for you in the world. It is not for the people who visit it. So make it very relevant for them. Make it the most important thing they look at today. To do that, you have to talk in their language, or let's say, make it relevant for them. And how do you make it relevant for them? By ensuring each and every piece in this top portion is created for the end customer, not for you, for the end customer. There you go. Arjun has, in fact, very interestingly changed a lot of things here. enabling deep technology startups to maximize their IP asset value and increase competitive advantage. This is really nice. Oh, Arjun is confessing that he, changed his headline. Great going, Arjun. This looks good. And of course, he's updated his banner also to his company's logo, MetaAge. In fact, you can do much better than that. You can give an offer if you sell products, for example, in your banner. People coming there can have a look at it and see it. Or if you have some projects you want to showcase, if for example you build things, right, you can showcase those projects. You can have a collage of all the clients you work with. Let's say you work with Fortune 500 companies, so you can have a collage of all the companies you work with. So there are so many ideas that are available now to create this banner. I'm not the most creative person here in this webinar today, so I'm sure you all can come up with a lot more stuff for the top banner itself, right? Fantastic. Thank you, Arjun, for volunteering. So bunch of free tools are available from LinkedIn to promote yourself, and I say promote yourself in the sense of, trying to get more business. So let's see. There are posts, articles, direct messages, email, groups, and business pages. There might be 2 or 3 more things, but I'm avoiding this for the purpose of this webinar, because otherwise it will just stretch on and on. So again, I'll demonstrate all this quickly using my own account. Let's have a look. Right, let us look at what type of posts you can put in. This is where you start with the post. I'm sure all of you know this, and this. So you can put an image, you can put a video out. In fact, on the mobile version of LinkedIn, if you put a post and you click the video, right, you can quickly do a live video then and there on LinkedIn, which many people don't know about. And of course, you can put documents also, right? So to start a post, just click, and you can choose if you want to share it with anybody, or some of the people. So I'm just pasting a post here. Since I'm in marketing, I'm trying to keep it very, very relevant to marketing, and these hashtags are automatically let's say given by LinkedIn, so you can choose a few of them and just say okay, post it. That's it. Typically what happens once you post something, this will appear in people's feeds, they will see it and they will comment on it. They may or may not. That is how you kind of promote yourself, using just simple posts. Why is this promotion? Because if you consistently talk about one topic, people will recognize you as an expert with that topic, or at least somebody who's knowledgeable about that topic. So a couple of questions here about hashtags. Hashtags are nothing but things that you can follow. For example, if you see here, I am following certain hashtags, followed hashtags. So LinkedIn actually allows you to follow hashtags. So I follow certain things like sales, digital. Okay, let me click on marketing. Anybody else on LinkedIn who's put a post on marketing and put a hashtag on marketing will actually show up in this stream. So if I follow posts that are about marketing, I can just quickly go here and click on it and see the posts that are regarding marketing. And a lot of people do that. If you follow, instead of following topics, you can follow hashtags. It's the same thing actually. Future of work, for example, has become very popular now. You can put as many as you feel are relevant. I typically don't exceed 5 hashtags because it looks very cluttered. Otherwise, the post goes away and only the hashtag is shown, and people don't want to read hashtags. People want to, read your content, right? Let me go back and show you how you can create your own hashtag. It's very simple. You write something, for example, and you click add a hashtag. The hash symbol comes up, and now I just say, this is my name, and that's become a hashtag now. That's it. That's how you create a hashtag. Put hash and whatever you want to type after that. And that doesn't really help unless you're a celebrity and people are searching for you by name. It really doesn't help to put your name as a hashtag. So let's look at articles now. So this is where you click, you can write an article. LinkedIn's articles have, it's interesting that LinkedIn's articles are not available on Google. So if you search for something on Google, you will not find what is available inside LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is closed off to Google, which is a good thing, because you can write one article, you can promote it on your blog and on LinkedIn. There's no duplication. So you don't get penalized for duplicating content on LinkedIn. this is how it looks, and it's fairly simple. You can just start writing. Headlines are here. If you click on this, you can put an image, video, slide, links, snippets. So all this is available. As you write, you see this left box. You click on this, and you can do that. And at the top, you can put an image which is indicative of the post itself. Let me go to one of my known people's account. Right? Yeah. Now this person is an architect, works with a lot of US architects, and actually has written a lot of good stuff. So very detailed it is. So I'm just going to his account and trying to read an article, for example. So this is the top portion, for example, right? There are no size restrictions as such. I would say 600 by 800 pixel is standard for such images. If you put a very large image, it gets chopped off any which way. You put a relevant headline. Of course, this shows up automatically. You start writing. You can do all this bold and italics and all that, and then you can insert images in between. This is a very technical article. Who are people who are architects and work in building information modeling may understand this. I don't, but I just wanted to show you, how you can write an article. That's it. Many people, what they do is they write an article. Let's say there are 6 points. At the 6th point, they cut it off and they say, for more, please go and read my blog. Well, that's one way to drive traffic to the blog and one way to annoy people who are reading your article. So please be careful when you do that. You don't want to annoy people. If it's something interesting, something informative, please put the information here. It still goes under your name, right? People remember you by your name. In fact, you can save the articles also. So if you see this in your timeline, for example, I'm going back to the view where it shows up as this. And if you want to read it later, click on these 3 dots and just click save for later, and it'll go into your save for later section. Let's see. Yeah, saved items in your when you log in, you will see here saved items, and you can access it there. Okay, let me get back to some very important questions about LinkedIn. Open your LinkedIn account if you have time, right? And go to the network. This is my network, right? And I'm not saying that my network is the best available. These are the connections I have, and I'm opening it in front of all of you, in fact. So there's no manipulation here. All right. Now here is the interesting thing, right? I'm a marketing person. Okay, let's assume you are an architect, right? I know Jaya here, who's messaged us, she's an architect, right? Please open your LinkedIn and see how many others you have connected to who are in your profession. If they are in your profession, then they are your peers, right? I mean, they are your peers, competitors, etc. So how many of your competitors are your network connections, or how many of your peers are your network connections? If you see my network connections, of course, somebody from marketing, then solar, cybersecurity, electric vehicles. It's a mix. In fact, if you go to my entire LinkedIn account, you will find a lot of people from solar, a lot of people from B2B businesses, SaaS, design, UI, UX. They are not marketers. They are not people who are my peers or my competitors. These are people who are my customers or potential customers. So that is how I have created my network. And a long time ago, I used to work in another industry, and I have a lot of colleagues and friends from that industry who are still part of my networks. But here is the thing: if you're using LinkedIn for business, then why is your network consisting of only your competitors, your peers, and your friends? Why do you not have people who are your potential customers in your network? So the first thing, before you start posting and all that, of course, posts and articles, etc., establish you as an authority. But while you are doing all this, ensure your network is being built. And building network is very easy. You just have to search somebody's name and go and connect with them, saying, "Hi, I want to connect with you." 9 out of 10 times, people will accept your connection. Right? That's it. That they are part of your network. Now they will see whatever you write on their feed. So, and if I see somebody consistently writing about one topic, then natural association is, okay, this person knows something about this topic. Maybe they are an expert at this topic. Therefore, if I have to recollect somebody, and refer to somebody about this topic, I will go to that person and ask them, hey, I have a question about this area. You seem to be an expert. Can you help me out? It's very simple. So who's your customer? If you know who's your customer or your potential customer, it becomes very easy to build your network. Right? Let's see. What else? Okay, direct messages and in-mails. I've already shown you one example of direct message where I was messaging Srijit, right? So you just open your message, or you may click on this, open your message, type the person's name, whoever is in your network. You can message people in your network. That is one thing, right? So let's say you have a new connection now. Let's say Arjun and we got connected recently. So I'll go to his profile. I've read his profile, found it interesting. I'll click on message and I will say, hi Arjun, glad to connect with you. Do you also provide trademark services? It's a query I'm asking, right? That's it. And just send it out. Very simple. And suddenly Arjun will be interesting because it's something I'm asking from his profession, from his expertise. Groups, you are all aware of groups, my network. So how I use groups is I mostly use groups as a way to do market research. I don't use groups a lot to interact with people. I mean, that's just me, but different people have different ways of using groups and other things. Right? So I was looking at higher education market as something that could be a potential market for me to sell my services into. So I joined these groups and I started looking at, what are people posting here. A lot of groups that are like, for example, that are kind of peer communities have very little interaction and more or less of self promotion. That doesn't really help you, right? I mean, if I want to know the latest and the greatest, I probably have other sources. But in a group, if it's a community of people, it's better that there is a lot of interaction happening. Join groups only if you think it can benefit you, but don't join group for self promotion. That doesn't help. You can also start a group if you want to build a community of people. That is another thing you can do. Let us look at something else, which is your company pages. And so this is a page I am an admin on. So US participant. So this is how a page will look, a company page will look. You can have your own company page. And in fact, there is something interesting about pages. Let me see. Philips. So when we look at Philips Healthcare, this is just a page, right? So it's a healthcare page. Now, you will see something interesting. Here you have Philips Imaging, Philips Oral Healthcare. These are affiliated pages, right? Let us click on one of them. So you can have your main company page, and under that you can have something called as showcase pages. So if, for example, when I search for Philips, right, you see this is company page, and then I have imaging, which is a showcase page. If you can see it here. What is a showcase page? Showcase page is nothing but affiliated page. A page comes under a page. You have a main company page, and under that you have a sub brand, and you can create. On LinkedIn, in fact, you can do boosting of posts, boosting of articles. You can do it to certain groups, I mean, that's entirely advertising, LinkedIn advertising, right? The problem with LinkedIn advertising, I would say, is it's expensive. It's a little more expensive than, let's say, Facebook and other things like that, right? So if I were to boost this post, that is because I have not activated my advertising in LinkedIn. If I activate my advertising, then I will see the option to boost this post. Or if I go to LinkedIn advertising, it will say, you can boost a post. You can pay some money and send it to relevant people. Jay is asking, is page a part of a personal profile or independent of part? It's independent from your personal profile. It is actually, you may be an admin on a page. Multiple people can be admin on a page, but then the page itself is independent of you. So you have to post on pages, right? And in fact, somebody else had asked this question. Somebody had asked this question regarding pages. Yeah, is regular LinkedIn account, which is meant for people, and LinkedIn pages for our company the same? No, it is not. You know, LinkedIn, your LinkedIn account is to network with other people. Your company page is something that people will follow because you are putting very interesting stuff out there on the company page. Again, a way to promote your company, I would say, rather than anything else. Okay. Next is paid tools, right? So there are two paid tools that I will talk about. There are a lot of them actually. There is also lynda.com, basically the LinkedIn learning platform and all that. Those are also paid now. But let us talk about Sales Navigator and Premium. In fact, on my account, it says it's a premium account, right? It is not. Here it says it's a premium account. I'm not a premium account subscriber. There are two different things. The one is called Premium and another is actually LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So if you go here, click on work, you will see all this, address, learn, post a job, insights. So posting a job is also paid for. You can post a job here. Slide share, it is free slide promotion tool that LinkedIn has, but I would say it's dropped in popularity now. Advertise. So you will also see Sales Navigator. This is Sales Navigator. I've already subscribed to Sales Navigator. Costs are similar to Premium. And what does a premium account allow you to do? Like, for example, if you don't have a premium account, you can't see a third level connection. In the sense, if I'm connected to Arjun and Arjun is connected to somebody else, that is a second level connection. But if that person is connected to yet somebody else, I can't see their profile properly. So a premium account allows you to kind of look at everybody's profile and send something called an email. The second thing is Sales Navigator, and I believe Sales Navigator is a much more relevant thing when it comes to generating leads and increasing your business. Why? This is the Sales Navigator interface. I am seeing a lot of updates here from people I follow or people I have connected with, and all right. So I can search here, right? Or I can click on. I can search by lead, that is by people, or by account. Let's say I want to search by account. I want to find some companies that I want to work with. Okay, since we are in Bangalore, I will say Lulu. And I want to search for it in the education, let's say higher education. That's where I want to focus on. And department headcount, department annual revenue, company headcount, right? There's an important filter. I want to have between 11 to 50 people, because I know those will be the smaller companies. And Sales Navigator is a paid add-on, by the way. It costs about 5,000 rupees a month in rupees. I don't remember the dollar terms, but it's a steady. They charge you in rupees only, so don't worry about number of followers, technology use, job opportunity, relationship, tags, etc. Right? So I can use keywords like edtech or edtech. By the way, this is a Boolean operator. Again, Boolean in the sense or and. There are multiple ways to do these searches, which maybe I can take in some other session. Right. So when I search, I only get one, who's in higher education and who is doing all this. Okay. Let us see if I remove the headcount. Now, okay. If I remove this also, then what happens? And I'm sure a lot of things will pop up from IIM to Christ and all these guys have popped up, right? Okay, let us see. If I remove the higher education filter and I just put ed tech in Bangalore, again, there you go. But interestingly enough, they are in e-learning. If I can go to the account, in the sense I can go to the company account, right? And I can see people, 1 employee. So it's a very small company, and they are coming under e-learning. So instead of searching for industry, I should see if e-learning is an industry. There you go. Yeah, e-learning is an industry. Right? So that's what I was searching for in fact initially. So if you have Sales Navigator account, you don't require a premium account. I don't recommend having both. It doesn't serve any purpose. Let's say you have all filters, and I can search for people. I can say EduTech, very broad search, EduTech, people working at EduTech. There you go. There will be a large list of people, I'm sure, from all over the world, because I have not really. Sorry, EduTech is a company. Right. So instead of that, if I were to search by industry, I will get it. So you get the gist of how and what to do. But here is the power of this, right? Yeah. E-learning. So I'm doing e-learning, and I'm saying geographies, this city, Bangalore, and I got about 6.5 thousand, 6,500 people who are potentially in that area, right? But here is a secret I will tell you, and this is something which I use. Only 315 people have been active in the past 30 days. So I will focus on these people instead of everybody else. Right. Dipil asked, if Sales Navigator will help us reach our post to more people. No, it will not. It will suppose reach your network. And if somebody, for example, if I put a post and Arjun shares the post, then the post will reach his network also. So it's a network effect. LinkedIn doesn't restrict your posts, so viral appeal or organic appeal. It just keeps going on. All right, so let me show you how this works, right? So I've seen 315 people and a lot of people who are second connection, etc. Right? So okay, let me assume that I can save Aditya Kulkarni as a lead. Here are the saved searches. So I can save this entire search also, and I can do something called as lists. Right? So you can see a lot of lists are there, don't mind, but I'm here doing this all through the day, right? So I was looking at fintech industry, solar industry, founders of design studio, etc., etc. So all these are lists. So I can save the list. I can keep adding people to the list, and then what I do is I send them a message. Also, I will show you how the saved searches work. All these are saved searches. So I just click here, and automatically the search runs again, and I can see the new people. Right? These are all saved searches for certain industry and all that we were looking at. All right. So, okay, what happens after I save a list, for example? Or let's see if I can take one list. Now, here is the magic, right? I can directly send them a message. I need not be connected to them. I can click on connect, right? And then I can send them a connection message saying, hi, Amit, I would like to connect with you. That's it. Okay. And now I'm not connected to this person, for example, but I still want to send a message to them. So if you're not connected to somebody, what you send is an email. So that's a difference, okay? If you're connected to somebody, you send them a message. If you're not connected to somebody, you send them an email. And if you have this paid account, the Sales Navigator account, you get 60 credits. You can send 60 email to the person. Email lands in their inbox, not on LinkedIn. The email will go to their personal email inbox, actually. So that's a really cool thing if you want to send emails to people. Now, the only problem is many people put their personal email ID or email ID which they don't quite often look at on LinkedIn. So that could be a disadvantage of doing in-mails actually. But in-mails can be very powerful. So with Premium and Sales Navigator, the only difference is in Premium, you get about 300 in-mails in a month. Great. Whereas with Sales Navigator, you get about 60 in-mail credits. But I don't bother about it because what I do is I just go ahead and connect with the person. And once I connect with the person, I can send them regular messages. And unfortunately, one of the things is, see, on top, this inbox shows up. So there are two inboxes now. You have inboxes where, again, for example, I'm sending some random message to people, etc. Some of this is automated. I will show you how the automation happens. But some of the messages show up in LinkedIn, regular messages, and some of the messages show up here. So I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the logic of why some show up there and here, but that's the way it is, And you'll have to monitor both the inboxes, both the message boxes to see where the message lands. So that's the only disadvantage of having Sales Navigator, but it's a very powerful tool. On a daily basis, I reach out to about 50 to 60 people and try to connect with them. And I do a lot of market research, testing, etc. through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's a very, very powerful tool. I can tell you, even with the lead generation that we do, we get about 20 to 25% lead generation on LinkedIn Sales Navigator if done properly. There are automation tools also available. These are third-party automation tools. Be very, very careful when you use automation tools with LinkedIn. The reason LinkedIn keeps banning these tools, and if you try to be over-smart with LinkedIn, what will happen is LinkedIn will, ban your account. That's it. Nothing else. So two tools that I recommend: WeConnect and Connect 365. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time to go into those tools today. Maybe some other time. And there is more. There is so much more. I mean, I can take this for another 10 hours and not be done with the material. Unfortunately, we ran out of time during the webinar, but there's so much more to cover about LinkedIn. You can think about branding, you can think about community building, you can think about your network building, lead generation, ever so many pieces to LinkedIn that is very difficult to cover in such a short time. Therefore, I have created a course for using LinkedIn for your business. How to use LinkedIn to build your brand, to build a community, to build your network, to generate leads, and to have ongoing sales conversations with prospects. All this without doing LinkedIn advertisement, which can be very, very expensive. So if you are interested to learn more about using LinkedIn for your business, you should definitely join this course. The link to the course is given below in the description. Please go ahead, click that and join the course today.